G'day everyone. Previously, we had the approval workflow, where the leave application goes through the approval process. Then, the requester got an email. After that, we built the WhatsApp notifications. Now, we will build the part where the approvers will sign the leave application, and the signed document will be sent to the requester with the signatures on it. Remember now, from the first video, the status of the leave application will determine who will see it in their workflow. In the case of approvals, the person only had to click on Approve, and it will go over to the next part of the workflow. Now, we will add the signature part of the workflow. We will follow the same logic as we did with the reject function. Instead, this time, we will not add a comment, we will add a signature. Let's add a table and call it Approval Signature. We can copy and paste the headers of the comments table. We will not need the comments column anymore, so let's delete that. Now we can add the table to AppSheet. Let's make sure that the column types are correct. Great, it seems like the signature column was selected by default. Let's clear the initial value on the unique ID column. Next, we will have to put a button in here to approve the leave. For reference, you can view my buttons video in the description below. Let's call this one Approve Leave. For the formula, we will copy the Approve Leave label from the button images table and paste it as text. The column type will be ref. Then reference the button images table. Make the display name blank. When the reject button is pushed, you are taken to the comments view. We will duplicate this view to use as the base, but we will rename it to Approval Signature. The data will come from the Approval Signature table. Next, we need to add the signature as a quick edit column. Then, in manual column order, you will notice both columns are supposed to show. The reason for that is that the unique ID column is still empty in the table. Let's put a number 1 in there. Then we sync the app again. There, you will see the Signature tab appears. But what about the button? That is because we did not save yet. Since we added the button column, let's save. There we go, there is the button. Let's hide these generic action buttons. Then save again. Now we need to build the same logic over like we did with the comments table. First, let's go back to the leave approvals. We will have to duplicate this action. This one copies the unique ID value in this row to the comments table and then navigates to the comments table. Let's put this one in line with the approve column. We can hide the original action. Now we need to duplicate the actions inside the grouped action. Let's start with the copy unique ID. We will only change it to add the unique ID value to the approval signature table. Then we duplicate the navigate to comments action. We can change the name to navigate to approve. Then we change the view that it is linked to approval signature. Now, let's save. Now let's change the actions in the grouped action to be applicable to the approval view. Let's select the second copy unique ID and then the navigate to approve action. Let's save again. Now, if we press approve, we are navigated to the view as intended. So now we need to apply the same actions that we used on the reject button here. So let's go to the reject button. In this action, you will notice that it is a grouped action again. So we will have to duplicate a few actions again. I will explain what each one does as we go along. Let's duplicate this one first. This will be in the approval signature table. You will notice that all the actions in the grouped action disappeared. That's because the original actions are in the comments table. So now we need to duplicate each of those actions and add it to the approval signature table. So let's start with the action that changes the status. Let's add it to the approval signature table. Then we duplicate the update comments action and also add it to the approval signature table. After that, we can duplicate the navigation action and also add it to the same table. When we click on the action that updates the status, you will notice that it runs an action in the leave applications table. This formula helps to run the action in the row where the unique ID columns from this row and the one in the leave applications table are the same. The action that it runs is the one that changes the status to rejected. Let's go there, then we duplicate this action. Then we change it to make the status say Supervisor Approved. This is the first step in the approval workflow. Let's also change the name to Supervisor Approved. Back in the approval table, let's change the name of the action to Set Status to Supervisor Approved. Then change the action it runs also to Set Status to Supervisor Approved. Next, we will change this name to Sign and Back Supervisor. Then we will go to the Update Comments action. This also runs an action in the Leave Applications table, where it updates the comments column. We want it to update the signature column, but first we need to add those columns. Let's add the columns Sign Supervisor, Sign Manager, and Sign CEO in there. Then we give it some color. Back in AppSheet, we need to regenerate the table. Now we can go back to the action that needs to update the signature columns. Let's duplicate this action. Then we call it Update Supervisor Signature. Then we pick the Sign Supervisor column. Here we will change the formula to look up the request ID in the approval signature table, in the unique ID column, and then return the signature value. Back at the main action, we can update the name to say Update Signature. Wait, I have been using the wrong table. Let's undo. In the approval signature table, let's update the action name to say Update Signature Supervisor. Then we pick the Update Supervisor Signature action. Now we need to change this action also to say Set Status to Supervisor Approved. Then we pick the action that will update the status to Supervisor Approved. Now we can add the actions to the grouped action. First, we add the action that changes the action. Then we add the action that adds the signature, and then the navigation button. Then we change the name to Sign and Back Supervisor. Then we put it in line with the Approve column. Let's save. Let's hide this action. Then we save again. Let's test it. You click on the Signature tab and make a sign there. Then you need to press Done to capture the signature. Let's approve and see if it works. It does not seem to work, but why? Now I can see why. The app uses the To row and the unique ID column is still number 1, which is not equal to any Leave Application Request ID. Let's clean this table. Now let's test it again. There you will notice the signature is captured in the table. Let's see how it reflects in the Leave Applications table. You can see that the status has been updated, but the signature value does not look right. That is because the column type in AppSheet says text and not signature. Let's change that. Then we save. Now let's delete this value and change the status back to pending. Then we sync the app. Now let's test it again. Let's give it time to clear. Great, now let's sign again. There you will notice that the status was updated correctly again, and the signature was also captured correctly. Just to be sure, the value here and in the Leave Applications table are the same. Great. Now we can duplicate the actions to have a set for the manager and CEO also. Let's start with this action. It runs the action of Update Supervisor Signature, so we will have to duplicate that action first. While we are down here, let's duplicate the action that updates the status also. Then we rename it to Set Status to Manager Approved. Then we update it to let it change the status to Manager Approved. Now let's duplicate the Update Signature action. Then we rename it to say Update Manager Signature. Then we select the Sign Manager column to be updated. It looks like the formula is still fine. Now, back to the top at the Approval Signature table, we can duplicate the Set Status action. Let's rename it to Set Status to Manager Approved. Then we update the action that it must run to Set Status to Manager Approved. Now let's duplicate the Update Signature action. Then we rename it to Update Signature Manager. Then we select the action of Update Manager Signature to run. Then we can update the Sign and Back action and rename it to Sign and Back Manager. Here we can pick the actions Set Status Manager Approved, Update Signature Manager. We can leave the navigation action there. You will notice there are 2 actions linked to the button now. We will change that shortly. Let's save. For the final step in the approval workflow, the status must say Approved. Let's update the actions for the CEO also to say just that. Let's duplicate this action and rename it to Set Status to Approved. Then change the status value to say Approved. Now let's duplicate the signature action and rename it to Update CEO Signature. Change the column to Sign CEO. Back at the top at Approval Signatures, let's duplicate the status action and rename it to Set Status Approved. Then we pick the Set Status to Approved action to run. Let's update the signature action and rename it to Update Signature CEO. Then we pick the action of Update CEO Signature to run. Now we can duplicate the Sign and Back action and rename it to Sign and Back CEO. Then we pick Set Status to Approved, then Update Signature CEO, and leave the navigation action as it is. Now you can see that all three actions are connected to the same button. We will change that now. Let's save first. Currently, the logged-in user is John Supervisor, and obviously his role is Supervisor. So let's build the mechanics to let the actions only show based on the current user role. In the Approval Signature table, let's add a virtual column and call it Logged-in User Role. Then we use the formula to look up the current device ID in the Logged-in User table in the Device ID column and return the role. Let's pick the CEO action. Now, in the Behavior section of the action, we can add the formula to say that the action must only show if the logged-in user role is equal to CEO. There you can see that the action disappears since the current user role is Supervisor. Let's copy this formula to apply to the other actions also. Let's select the Manager action, then paste the formula in here. Then we change CEO to Maintenance Manager. Then we select the Supervisor action and paste the action in there also. Let's change CEO to Supervisor. Great, but why do the actions not show at all now? The role is exactly the same. I think I know what's wrong. I made a typo in the formula. Let's fix that. There, the action shows now. Let's hide the column again. Now let's press Approve. There we can see that the signature was captured and the status was updated as intended. Now let's log out and then we log in as the Maintenance Manager. Let's copy his name. Then paste it in here. Then we copy the password and paste it in here and log in. In the Leave Approvals, we will see the leave application of Paul Worker. There you can see the signature of the supervisor. I will leave it there for now. Let's hide the old action. Let's sign as a manager. Press Done, then Approve. Here you will see that the manager signature was captured as intended and the status was updated. Now let's log out and then we log in as the CEO. Let's copy his name. Then paste it here. Then we copy the password and paste it here. Then we log in. There you will see the leave application of Paul Worker. Let's hide this old action again. Here you will see both the signatures of the supervisor and the manager, but let's leave it there for now. Let's approve. Let's sign, then press Done and Approve. There you will see the CEO signature was also captured as intended and the status was updated to Approved. Let's hide the signatures from the approval workflow. We will only need it on the PDF document. To generate the PDF document, we will have to create a bot. Let's call this bot PDF Approved Leave. Then we call the trigger event CEO Approved. This will be in the Leave Applications table. This will only trigger on updates. The condition will be when the CEO sign column is not blank. Then we add the step that will generate the PDF document. Let's call it PDF Leave Application. Then we select Create a new file. Then select Create, then View. This will be the base of which the PDF will work from. Here you will see that there is no mention of the signature columns. That's because we hid it in the table. Let's go back to the table and make it show again. Let's save. Back at the bot, we can create a new file that will have the signature columns in there also. There we go. Now we can personalize the template. Let's start with the heading. Let's call it Approved Leave Application. Then we center it. Then make it slightly bigger. Let's remove this. Then we start off to say, Good day. Then we copy and paste the requester column in there. Then we can say, Please note that your leave has been approved from. Here we can insert the leave type. Let's copy, then paste. Then we can take the date from and copy and paste it there. Then copy and paste the date to in there. Then we can say, this is a total of. Then copy and paste the total days column in there, with days behind it. Kind regards, management. Let's delete all of these things as we already used that information. And the bottom also. Then we say, supervisor. Great. Now we can update the folder path of the file. Let's call it Approved Leave Applications. Then for the file prefix, let's call it requester ampersand dash ampersand, then the date from as text. Otherwise, a lot of subfolders will be created. Let's just add the leave type in there also. Let's test it. First, we need to change the status to Manager Approved and delete the CEO signature. Let's save. Now we can go to Approvals again. Then Sign and Approve. There you will see the signature was captured. Let's see how the document looks like. Great, I think that should work. But we will want to send this file via email to the requester. For that, we will need a public link to attach to the email. So let's add a column where this link will be placed. Back in AppSheet, we will have to regenerate to add the column. Then in our bot, we can add another step to put the file name in the table as it is stored in our drive. Let's call it Update PDF Link. Then we select Run a Data Action. Then Set Row Values. Select the PDF link column. Then we go back to the name prefix in the previous step and copy it. Then we go back to the PDF link value and paste it there to ensure that the values are the same. We just need to add .pdf at the end with an ampersand. Now let's save. Let's test it again. Leave Applications, Sign, Approve. Here you will see the file name is added to the PDF link column, and it is the same as the file name in the drive. Now we need to make it update to the public link that will open the file in the drive. For that, we will use AppScript. Go to Extensions and select AppScript. Then you can use the script that is in the description below to paste it in there. I will take you through it quickly. Here you will find the folder ID. This is the folder where the file is stored, and it is this part of the URL. Next, you will find the sheet ID. That is the Google Sheet file that you are using, with this part of the URL. Then you need to mention the sheet name, which is the table name that you are working in. In this case, it is the Leave Applications table. And then you need to mention the column where your file name is stored. First, it will open the spreadsheet and look for the file name. Then, look for the file name in your column. Then it will go to your drive and look for the file there. Then it will get the file URL. Then it makes the file a public URL. I have made a log for you to follow the process that AppSheet takes. Let's run this script. Here you will see the log was added. Let's go through it to see the process. Here you can see the spreadsheet name that was opened, the table where we are working in, and also the folder in the drive. Here you can see that the file name was found in row 3. Then it searched for the file name in the folder. It found it. It then found the file ID, changed it to be public, and then updated the column with the public URL. Here you can see the column was updated in the table. If we click on it, it will take us to the file as intended. Now, let's just add a trigger to let the script run automatically. Add a trigger. Then select Time Driven. Then Minute Timer. Then Every Minute. Then you can be notified weekly if there are any errors. Now that we have our file URL, let's update the bot that sends the approval email to also send the file. Let's go to the bot. Then in the email body, let's add, "Please find the PDF file below." Then we add the PDF file column in there. Because the script runs every minute, we want the link to be generated before the email is sent. So let's just add a wait function in the bot before the email function. Let's select for a period of time. Then in the period formula box, you add this. But wait, it seems like I made a typo again. We need to add an additional 0 in the beginning, like that. Now let's save. Everything looks good now. Let's test it again. Let's clear this information first. Then we go to Approvals. Sign. Approve. Now we just need to wait a little bit. Great, here is the email with the link to the file. Now let's click it. Awesome! Please let me know in the comments what tutorial you want to see next.